Good day to you. This is Kathy, Vivian, Fabian speaking to you from the Rose Studio. Today I'm going to be doing the web book about the woven light brown ledger. The woven light brown ledger. So I had different kinds of correspondence and collages that I did. And I've been basically working to standardize the sizes of the collages that I started originally, which were, this page here you see, was originally part of the Art as a Present collection. And this was a bunch of letters that I sent out to different VIPs, important people to myself. At the time, I was quite isolated, so they said it's best to return correspondence any kind at all you get. So what I did is I received, at the time I was also going to high culture. So I took often I would get demands for donations, medical and invitations to high society events. And I thought of an idea. First of all, we're just at the beginning at this time of the whole idea of recycling ecologically sound uses of material. So what I thought to do, first, there was a certain amount of anger. I had enough money to go to the performances, but I certainly didn't have the money to go for the $500 plate and then some. So what I did is I took apart those letters. And I thought, okay, if I can't return money, at least I can return a gift in kind. What I did is I combined the two mediums of the handwritten letters to say thank you note and collages. Just before I arrived in the place I'm living now, I had lost a whole bunch of artwork which was just simply too bulky to carry with me. So I decided to do things of a size that were regular postage size. As you can see, the sizes varied with that qualification in mind. The sizes of the original correspondence would be something like this, varied in size as I took apart the letters that I got and also the media that I found and put it together and sent it back as a work of art and a handwritten note. I was doing a lot of it at the time. I had a whole bunch of energy. I was doing I was actually thinking of the movement, the what is it called? Not impressionist. It was a Quebec movement that could do something very, very fast, instinctively was what I was doing. But I was making instinctive collages. At the time, I was collecting bags and bags and bags of promotional things and interesting things. I was going to the botanical garden as well, so you have things like botany things, like this one particular here. So when the project kind of petered out and the energy stopped, I was left with a couple of them, quite a bit. I had mailed also a couple, and then when my parents passed away, the correspondence that I sent them through this medium was returned to me. So now that I'm working on another kind of collage, which I have more space and more time, I've been taking the extra pieces of paper to see if I could use everything to make these particular collages that I did as mail standardized. I've also decided to put my money where my mouth is and say these are not cards, but actual works of art. So that's this particular collection of that. And I have it in this particular binder, which it first starts out with 4x6s. I also have over here the vision boards, which are straight collages. Somebody gave me some cards that you could create the cards, and I just simply took them apart, the 4x6, and did vision boards, places that I would like to be within a year. In 4x6 medium. What I like about this particular binder when I found it is that it has many different sizes, because until that time I've been separating my work by size, not necessarily by subject, and that sometimes leaves it confused. So because this particular binder has many different sizes that you could put in here for correspondence, that helped a lot to group a whole bunch of correspondence together, even though you see, as before, I still have the vision board. So now I have the correspondence that I made to different places, correspondence I received, as well as at the same time I was going through the thrift shops looking for art cards that were actually made for the general population, that I felt were so skilled that could be considered works of art. And they're included here. Now the next challenge is to figure out how I could, at a glance, split all my work so that the cards that I received, the cards that I gave are clearly accessible, as well as the cards that I collected because I like the images very much. And that's the next step. But at this point, what I'm happy with, the reason I'm taking a film of this is because the whole binder is completely filled, and that took a while. So I'm happy. So I figured I might as well celebrate and first of all record what I'm doing, and second of all show this particular step has been done to this point. The next step again will be to organize things so they're easily findable according to what kind of type, what of artifact they are. There's a couple of things here. There was a lady that, or a gentleman left a whole bunch of artwork, and I found some beautiful images that some people framed. I think some are original, beautiful prints as well. Like this particular one was just collected by one of the residents in the place I live now, and it's just an image to put on the wall or wherever you put your images to show. I have a particular fondness for things that have glitter on them or are embossed with gold or silver. But I also, when I'm collecting, of course, the image itself, the artwork itself is very important. I also have a fondness for the many animal cards that we seem to have collected here. The cards that I found were also, at the time, they had, the ladies here were giving out cards to significant others. So they had, once in a while, there was a lot more energy at the time, bazaars, and they would have teams of people grouping together, so the leftover cards in bunches. So I would pick those up too. This is another one that was a personal collection of somebody here, just to hang. It's surprising how complex and beautiful some of these little gift cards are, take into account that they're actually originally not that expensive. So one of the problems that I've still come across is the question of I have more sizes and shapes than fit into this album. So just a couple of days ago, I figured why not fool around with it and add some vertical 4x6s in, which is what I just did, and it works quite nicely. I've got more correspondence, pretty much standardized in this one. I could put in more of the same kind of medium to a certain extent, and it just like you see both images very clearly. Until I got to that point that I figured out what to do vis-a-vis that, it took a couple of years. Another thing, I picked up some stationery from a commercial store, and I'm quietly, I still have the text that I originally wrote to my mother. I'm quietly transplanting them into regular stationery, not works of art. What I have, all that has to be filled in this album, I have to say that I filled it, is this particular bunch of very unusual sizes. I have one thing that will go here, which is a very long vertical. Here, I think these are for films. and I'm not sure I have anything. What I don't have in this book doesn't keep any images that are smaller, like the size of stamps or business cards. However, I'm very satisfied with it. So this is the light brown ledger web reading, and my name is Kathy Vivian Fabian. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. I'll be coming back soon with another web book reading, because I've been doing quite a lot of work and I think it's time to record it. Speak to you soon. Kathy Vivian Fabian signing off.